my lovely friends. I'm here to show you how I changed the water on my huge collection of leeches. It's grown more and more and more in the past months, so it's getting more and more challenging to take care of them and change their water. So I thought I'd show you because I've gained some skills in the process. And I'm using my forceps. I'm also using a huge strainer. So this is for processing large numbers of leeches as my collection has grown. And I'm going to show you how, when I open up this lid, they're going to try and pop out of the bucket. And it's sort of like taming wild beasts. So I'm going to grab a piece of kitchen towel and proceed with the changing of the water. So pay attention. All right, so I'm opening up the lid, and you can do a close-up so you can see they're all everywhere. So then what I do is I remove them first from the lid. You see they're popping out everywhere. This water is about 3 days old. So, and this collection is a big collection of leeches, and this is the color that has that we've come to in a 3 days period of time. So I obviously have to change them more often to keep them clean. Then what you do is I take my big strainer, and if we can show on this side, so they keep popping out. I have to keep them at bay, otherwise they will take over. They'll basically be everywhere if I don't bump them off the sides of the bucket. So then I pour straight into the strainer. So as you can see, they're all over the place. They're also all over the place in the strainer. You can do a close-up. So you see there's some larger ones, smaller ones, medium, and this at the bottom of the strainer is their skins that have collected. So then what I do is oh Jesus, you see now they're everywhere. There might be some dead leeches on the bottom of this strainer as I've poured my collection into the strainer. Of course, the dead leeches will collect somewhere here. They won't stay in the bucket because the bucket will usually hold the live leeches. As they get sucked onto the sides of the bucket, they'll get, they will form a habitat inside the bucket. And that's how they'll survive in the bucket, is by forming a habitat. And part of that habitat is by finding a place on the walls to suck onto. So this is exactly like taming wild beasts. They're everywhere. And as you can see, we don't have any dead, non-moving leeches at this point in time. And the strainer is pretty much clean of dead leeches. All it is just live leeches everywhere. As you can see, that's why it's essential to have this tool. Without it, you can't process large numbers of leeches. You can't take care of a large collection without the forceps. And this is what the strainer looks like with the skins. I'm gonna wash it, but before I do that, I have to tame these wild beasts so they don't fall into the sink. And of course, some have made it into the sink itself. Oh look, there's one on the floor. There's one on the floor as well. And there's one already wanting to bite me. So now that we've done that, and of course this guy has almost started sucking from me. Looking good so far. Oh. And that's all the level of the water that you need, because if you do any more, they won't be able to breathe inside. And I close up my collection. I make sure it's nice and tightly closed, and then I take a look at it, and of course there's one I found on the sides. Let's look around again. Everything is looking nice and clean. And then last thing I do is wash my strainer. You don't want to wash it with detergent because it's going to slowly over time kill your leeches. So this is all that's necessary, just plain clean water. You can scrub it down a little with something like this, but make sure there's no detergent on it. And we're pretty much done. Our water is clean and we're ready for leech therapy. So let's go. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next week. Bye.